In the heart of South Africa's wilderness, a lone man braved thick mud and danger to rescue a massive rhino trapped in a swamp. What he thought was a solitary act of compassion quickly turned into something unforgettable. Moments later, the entire rhino herd appeared, and what they did next left everyone speechless. Heavy rains have swept across Kruger National Park in South Africa, transforming once familiar trails into deep, muddy swamps. David, a dedicated conservationist, and his best friend William are out on their routine patrol through the grasslands. The relentless downpour over the past 2 days has made their mission increasingly challenging. David had just received a report that a male rhino was trapped in a swamp. Locals claimed the animal had been stuck for 2 days, its strength slowly fading with each passing hour. What struck David most was the sight of female rhino standing nearby, unwavering and watchful, never leaving his side. It was likely his mate, faithfully waiting for him to break free from the perilous situation. David and William raced to the scene in their Jeep, navigating a maze of muddy, waterlogged roads. The rain poured relentlessly, drumming against the roof in a steady, pounding rhythm. When they finally arrived, a heartbreaking sight met their eyes. The male rhino was half submerged in thick mud, struggling to breathe. Not far away, the female rhino stood motionless, her eyes filled with panic, yet she watched in silence, unwilling to leave her partner's side. Without hesitation, David jumped out of the Jeep and carefully waded toward the struggling rhino to assess how badly it was stuck. Its feet sank halfway into the thick mud, which clung to him like a powerful suction. Seeing the rhino's weakened state, William quickly grabbed a rope from the truck. Their only chance was to loop it around the rhino's belly and use the Jeep's strength to pull the animal free. However, getting close to the rhino was always dangerous because it was still strong enough to thrash people if it panicked. David used his many years of experience, moving slowly, loosening his gestures so that the rhino would not be startled. The male rhino snorted, his eyes showing fatigue but still sparkling with caution. The female rhino slowly moved closer, seemingly checking to see if the humans would harm her mate. William stood at a distance, signaling David to be careful while the rain continued to drizzle. David finally managed to thread the rope through the rhino's body just enough so as not to cause pain. He tied the rope tightly around the hip, signaling William to start using the cart. William started the engine, pressing the accelerator gently, creating a slow pull to avoid scaring the rhino. The wheels spun, mud splashing everywhere, sometimes limiting visibility. The male rhino felt the pull and struggled out of survival instinct. Both David and William had to shout, adjusting the pulling rhythm continuously to synchronize with the enormous weight. It took about 15 minutes of struggling. The rope was so stretched that at times it seemed like it was about to snap. Finally, the male rhino's massive body was gradually lifted out of the swamp. It staggered a few steps, mud dripping from its body, then collapsed lightly on the wet ground. The female rhino immediately ran over, lightly touching the male rhino's horn with her horn as an act of comfort. David untied the rope, then carefully checked to see if the male rhino had any serious injuries. Fortunately, apart from exhaustion and hunger after 2 days of being trapped, there were no signs of broken bones or serious injuries. William took out the veterinary first aid kit and gave the rhino a dose of energy-boosting fluid. David injected it with a mild dose of vitamins, helping the rhino increase its resistance. The male rhino sniffed and closed its eyes, as if to thank him for the timely care. The female rhino was still standing next to him, seemingly more reassured that her mate was safe. After making sure the rhino was okay, David and William stepped back, giving the two animals some space. The rain continued to pour, but they felt warm in their hearts for having saved a precious life. The two rhinos rubbed their horns together, a show of affection that moved the two men. David and William wiped the mud off their bodies, got back in the car, and prepared to leave the area. On the way back, they discussed the need to build more fences or give timely notice in case of heavy rain. They knew that saving a rhino meant saving an entire ecosystem. 4 months passed, and the rainy season ended, giving way to the dry summer on the Kruger Savannah. David and William continued their regular patrol, this time with clearer skies. Under the scorching sun, the dry grass was golden yellow, and many animals sought shade under the sparse trees. Their jeep sped through the dusty trails, checking for water. Suddenly, a ferocious leopard appeared from nowhere, growling and chasing the car. David was extremely surprised because leopards are usually quite timid around vehicles, not often attacking. William quickly stepped on the gas to speed up, trying to create distance from the leopard. However, the leopard was still determined to chase after them, looking extremely ferocious. Its roar resounded, sending shivers down both men's spines. David did not understand why the leopard had become so unusual. The car was swaying on the dry ground, dust flying everywhere, obstructing visibility. The leopard appeared at an incredible speed, continuously behind the car. William began to panic because if the leopard climbed onto the truck, the situation would be extremely dangerous. Just then, from afar, another cloud of dust rose, accompanied by a thunderous rumble. The two men were shocked to see a huge male rhino charging straight towards the car. David shouted at William to slow down because there was no way to avoid it. They thought the rhino would ram the car head-on, causing a terrible accident. The rhino rushed forward at an impressive speed, its horns pointing forward like a sharp knife. William braked hard, his heart pounding, waiting for the moment of impact. Suddenly, the rhino turned, not ramming the car but swerving to the right. It aimed straight at the leopard, puffing threateningly, causing the leopard to stop. The leopard roared, as if it didn't believe that anyone else would dare challenge it. But the rhino still charged forward, its horns pointed high, ready to confront. In a flash, the leopard understood that it had no chance against its opponent's strength. It turned around and ran, running into the tall bushes, disappearing behind the yellow grass. The male rhino chased after it for a few meters, as if to make sure the leopard had retreated. Only then did David and William regain their composure, their hearts still pounding. They suddenly realized that the rhino that had just saved them looked familiar. David raised his hand to shield himself from the sun, looking closely at the distinctive features on the animal's horns and body. It was the male rhino that the two had rescued from the swamp 4 months ago. David recalled with emotion the moment they pulled it out of the mud. William was amazed and couldn't believe that the rhino recognized the car as well as its benefactors. The rhino stood a few meters away from the car, snorting, its eyes scanning the area as if searching for the leopard. David understood that it had recognized the dangerous situation and rushed to protect them. This was truly a rare act when a wild animal turned to help a human. Both were moved to tears by the special connection between them and the brave rhino. William extended his hand out the window, offering a grateful wave. The rhinoceros let out a soft snort, as if acknowledging the gesture, then appeared to relax upon realizing the leopard was gone. Moments later, it turned and slowly made its way back into the open plains, disappearing into the endless expanse of grassland. David and William exhaled deeply, leaning back in their seats as they waited for their racing hearts to calm. The final swirls of dust drifted to the ground, leaving the dry grassland in peaceful silence once more. David muttered, "I can't believe it. It actually saved us." William nodded, his eyes reflecting a deep respect for the rhinoceros. They started the car and slowly drove away from the area, maintaining a safe distance in case the leopard came back. The entire drive back to the conservation center was filled with a mix of lingering nerves and quiet pride. Today's experience reaffirmed that, at times, an invisible bond exists between humans and the wild. As they reached the park's gate, they glanced up at the bright sky and exhaled in relief, grateful to have made it through safely. In their hearts, the memory of that courageous rhino would forever stand as a powerful symbol of gratitude and unity among all living beings in Kruger National Park, South Africa. What do you think of this story? Let us know in the comments section. I hope you liked this story. Please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Also subscribe and press the bell icon to never miss the update from our channel. Thank you.